Hello there, Scorpio. Thank you so much for stopping by for your weekly tarot video forecast for the week of June the 10th through the 16th. I have already cleared the deck for your spread. I'm just putting the final shuffle on right now. What you need to know in the meanwhile is that this is a general reading, meaning that not everything I see here will apply to every single Scorpio. Goodness, we just had a lot of cards fall there. We must have some major energy going on this week. All right, so not everything I see here will apply to every single Scorpio. For those of you who feel like it doesn't resonate, you may want to check your rising sign and your moon sign as well. For those of you who have some specific questions and would like me to check into your energy on a private basis, all you have to do is schedule a private reading. For that, I do private readings. I also do private reiki sessions. You can find information about all that on my website, which is www.amista.info. Once you're there, you can find my contact information and just reach out to me, and I can usually get you scheduled pretty quickly. Let's see what you've got for the week. What we have for the week, I should say, Scorpios. Okay, let's take a peek at what we have going on. The first thing that I'm looking at is our environment, and our environment is any place where we have energy or effort invested. Most times it shows up as home, but it has shown up as work, school, etc. So what am I seeing here? Looks to me like in our environment, Scorpios, we are experiencing some things that are less than positive, and we are transforming those into something that is more positive. To me, this looks like it could very well be that we're going through some kind of healing process, like emotional healing, could be physical healing, but I'm leaning more towards emotional healing because it has a lot to do with reflection and looking at ourselves and our thought, that type of thing. So I do think that we are doing some healing, and a lot of this is happening for us in our environment. We are taking some things that were negative and we are sort of processing them, learning what we need to learn from that, and then coming out into a place that is better for us. Blah, da, da, da. Next thing I'm looking at is subconscious leanings. What I have coming up here tells me, fellow Scorpios, that what we're doing subconsciously is we are returning to our true self. We are returning to those things that make us happy. We are returning to our true integrity. There may have been things that we had let go of as far as integrity because maybe it made people that we were around happy to see us acting a certain way or saying certain things or doing certain things because that made them happy. I feel like subconsciously we are definitely working on, okay, wait a second, what happened there? And how do I get back to my normal self? And I think we really want to get back to our normal self without offending anybody or without hurting anybody's feelings, but we still want to get back to our normal self. Next thing we have going on, Scorpios, I'm looking at learning style and communication style for us. I do have, this kind of goes along with our residence, or not with our residence, with our environment. I mean, it could be residence, not residence necessarily. Anyway, I do think that as far as learning style, there have been some things that we would consider negative that have been happening to us, and we are picking out or gleaning out from those negative experiences the silver lining, the lessons, the things that propel us forward in a much more positive direction. So learning style really has to do with taking some lemons and making lemonade. As far as communication style, I think that we are keeping our communication very upright. Keeps coming to me as a word that I can't escape here. So upright, definitely. We are saying the things that we need to say, the things that are our truest truths. And I think that also we are really shining our light. And I think that this has to do with us returning to who we actually are, that we're able to really shine our light in the world around us by speaking our truest truths and really being upright in our communication, having integrity in our communication, communicating what's really real instead of trying to only make other people happy. All right, next thing that we have coming up. Don't get me wrong, I think we're aware when we're making other people happy, but our priority is to communicate the real deal, the truest truth. All right, so next thing I'm looking at talks to me about work. I think for a lot of us, Scorpios, work is going to be actually ending or changing form. Okay, so for those of us who own our own business, we may be doing different types of work. We may be focused on different services than what we have been lately. For those of us who are working for employers, it may be that we are switching jobs from where we are now to the next place. It looks to me like there's definitely some kind of transformation whenever it comes to outer work. And this may tie in with being our truest truths, being our truest selves, having that integrity of character. Now, the next thing that I'm looking at is inner work. Our inner work is really about having that faith that knows that we are where we are on the journey and we're where we need to be exactly right now, and that where we're going is going to be a better place as long as we keep moving forward. And so that inner work really is to keep moving forward one step at a time on our journey. Next thing that comes up talks to me about that part of ourselves that's being manifested or grown as we go through this week. I am seeing that there is some frustration for us around dealing with a particular person or possibly even certain people during the week. This person is somebody that comes up to me as having some fairly strong narcissistic characteristics. If you don't know what narcissistic is, you may want to Google that because there's a lot of them, and I don't have time to go into all of them. But let's just say they're not a sharpshooter and they generally don't have your best interest in heart. And so I think this week you're really focusing on how do I cope with this? And this could have a lot to do with the negative energy that we find ourselves in our environment where we're making lemons into lemonade. And with that learning style too shows up, a lot of negative energy around us, and we're learning how to take that and turn it into something positive. So that really could all be tied into dealing with somebody with narcissistic tendencies and figuring out, okay, what's the most productive way to interact with this person if I have to interact with them. The next thing that comes up talks to me about things that you stand for. Scorpios, here what I'm seeing is that most of us really kind of know what we want out of relationship and out of love. We have certain standards and expectations, whether we're in relationship or single or whatever. And I feel like we are um, accepting only those things that meet our standards. And if something doesn't meet our standards, we're not sitting back and saying, oh, well, that's good enough. And I think somebody may be giving us a hard time. They may be saying, well, your standards are too high. Nobody can live up to that, whatever it is that they're saying. And we're still standing by our standards. That's what we're standing for this week. How other people are perceiving us this week, they're seeing us as going through a tough time. They're also seeing this as a temporary tough time. So they see us as going through a tough time right now. Pivotal energy for the week really has to do with the idea that somebody has shown us their true colors. And when they did show us their true colors, our opinion of them fell a few notches. So we don't have this person on a pedestal if we used to. Now they're right exactly at the height that they belong, basically on an even keel with us. Then let's look. As somebody is showing us their true colors, this is causing us to do some things. First of all, this is causing us to put our defenses up. We're like, well, yeah, it's totally fine that you're like that. It's okay. You can be that way. Just don't be that way to me. I'm not giving you the opportunity to do something like that to me again. All right. And the other thing that's going on is if you had some kind of accountability or responsibility towards this person, excuse me, you're letting that go. Whatever kind of responsibilities you had towards them, You know, if you've been helping them out as a friend, or if they've been a romantic interest, and, you know, you've been kind of checking in with them and doing all the things that you do with a romantic interest, you're kind of done with that. You've seen the real deal about how this person is, and you're realizing this guy or this gal is not for me. And so you're getting yourself away from that. Also, that's what's going on at the same time is there's some disappointment here, you know, which kind of stands to reason. If somebody's showing you their true colors and your opinion of them is falling a few notches, there is some disappointment there. You thought that they were, you know, a better person than that, or that they would treat you better than that, or whatever it is, that they would treat their children better than that, whatever it is. And so your opinion of them is falling quite a bit. And so that is bringing in some disappointment there. Okay. So that's what I've got for us Scorpios. I hope that you guys find this helpful. You guys know, if you want to get a private reading or a private Reiki session, all you have to do is get a hold of me. All my information is on my website, www.amista.info, INFO. Thanks to all of you for stopping by, for hanging out, for liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. I do appreciate all of your support, and I will see you guys the next time. Peace out.